Great. So thank you for the introductions, and let me again rephrase what she said. So what I do is typically talk to customers, understand what they intend to do, and try to bridge the gap with technology, right? So we're basically facilitators here, both from Microsoft as well as from Crayon, right? If I can have my deck online. Yep, so while that's setting up, I'll carry on. Typically, we have spoken enough, I guess, on digital transformation, right? And I'll just throw out some information right away what Forrester, Gartner, Deloitte, and the agencies of the world are saying today about digital transformation. I'll resonate with what Gaurav has already shared as to what CIOs, CEOs, and industry leaders are thinking, how they're building the vision, right? And I'll quickly move on to what cloud and Microsoft can help you with immediately, right? The moment it comes up, we'll proceed. Never mind. A little bit more on the same topic, I'll just share that in the last couple of years, what I've seen majorly customers adopt in cloud is that the biggest challenge that the CIOs and CEOs are saying is it's not a change in technology, it is not a change in mindset or solutions. It's a change in the way people's cultures are evolving. People are not prone to change. We talk a lot about technology, mathematics, research, reports and all. But if we go back to science, we talk a lot about Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We do not talk about the first law enough. Anybody remembers what it was? Exactly. So that's where the change part comes in. People, do not realize that it's actually human nature, it is science, it's energy. Something that is in a state of rest will continue to remain in the state of rest. And something in a state of motion will continue to remain in a state of motion unless and until any external force acts upon it, right? That's what Newton said in his first law. And yes, today, the CIOs, the CEOs are facing the same challenge. The way the industry is working, people want to continue to work in the same way. And it is difficult to change, right? And this is why, Microsoft, Crayon, and all the, leaders in the world are trying to simplify that for all our customers, right? If I again talk about the biggest problem that people face today is the cultural shift. How do you change your people? How do you get the right skills? Because it's not there to drive that change. It's not just technology, it's about people, it's about, individuals, how they contribute, how they do their work, Going ahead, if I actually look at the bottom part, I don't know if it's too visible. These three black boxes are very, very, critical. That's the gist of it all. It says that organizations can't transform to digital unless people do, right? The second part is leaders embrace digital first to fast-track transformation. When we talk about leaders in the room, in the industry, it's up to us to embrace and accept technology, change, digital transformation. And once we believe in something, we'll be able to sell it to our organizations, to our customers, to our people, right? That's another challenge. Going back to the right skills, there is actually a dearth of talent there. People want people with technical as well as business expertise to drive that change. And lastly, what it says is, harness information to change the way you do business. Everything today is about data. The biggest and the most powerful instrument to succeed in this world today is data, right? This is how we actually use data today. This is the digital transformation framework with data and intelligence. Whether you want to, have your customers get more engaged, whether you want to have your empowerment of your employees within the organization, whether you want to improve the processes which he talked about, the example of Compaq and Dell that he gave, that the processes were different. Whether it is a manufacturing process, whether it is a, customer service process, whether it is a, interaction between the employees within, the systems, the tools, the way you track your progress, everything is related to digital transformation today, right? And last but not the least, transformation of products. I'll just move on and I'll share in my later slides that when you talk about digital transformation and transforming your products, it's about making it more profitable for you, more optimized for you. How do we do that? In the previous discussion that Gaurav left on was about cloud being the solution. Everything is there, you just plug and play, use it to your needs. Let us actually go back a little bit deeper into the technology and understand what is available, how do we plug and play, right? It's important. Traditionally, on-premises, what people manage is everything, right? Everything you need to manage, whether it is getting your hardware, getting the racks set up, whether the networking is there, the cooling is there, the entire data center. Then you have your applications team, the licensing team, which manages everything, compliance, and then your applications and data come into the picture, lastly. When you talk about an infrastructure as a service, what we do is that, the providers of infrastructure will give you the bottom 4 part, which is up to the virtualization layer, where your data center and your virtualization platform is managed and maintained by them. But everything beyond it, whether it is the OS to your application, is managed by you. Good. Solves almost 60% of your problems, but still not good enough. When you move on to the next generation, which we actually, try to propagate with our customers and our digital transformation leaders. It's not just about getting, 50% of your work done. You want to get everything done and use technology to the fullest. That is where platform as a service and software as a service come in. You only focus on managing your applications and your data. That is your business. Everything else is skeletal infrastructure, right? And that's not something that you need to bother yourself with. Your focus should be on how you can actually maximize your data utilization, your intelligence, how you can manage your customers better, how you can optimize your processes. See, everybody has 24 hours in a day. Every CIO has, X number of hours that he can contribute to a company. How he can maximize it by reducing his non-critical hours and improving them or adding them to his productive hours, where he can think, he can lead, where he can embrace change and, propagate that within his team. And finally, software as a service, right? This is the last and the, most plug-and-play solution available, whether it is email, whether it is a chat solution, whether it is collaboration. Everything you need, and that is very straightforward. Everybody needs collaboration. I don't need to tell somebody that, you need an email to communicate, you need a chat application to have instant messaging. It's understood, right? When it is that basic, why do you want to invest in the infrastructure, manage the OS, manage the licensing, DR, continuity and all those things? Just need email, right? It's as simple as that, right? What Microsoft Azure focuses on is on the infrastructure and the platform. That's our brand name for our infrastructure and platform services. We also have a software as a service offering, which is our Office 365 offering. These are again a few more challenges that people have talked about. What is at the center is most important, and that is something that people really lose out on in terms of security. When we manage our legacy workplace data centers, our own custom applications, we are more of focused on doing the basic fulfillment so that our business can run. I'm not having any wrong intentions of pointing fingers or saying that people are not competent. It is just about the focus, the timelines, the pressures, the priorities at times overvalue your core priority of managing security of your deployments. And yes, there is a $3 trillion estimated cost in which you have a economic value of cyber crime estimated to be by 2020. It's a lot of money out there, and that is your money as a customer, which is at stake. When you go onto cloud, you just not get something which is managed and plug and play. You get something which is implemented with the best practices, whether it is security, whether it is continuity, whether it is DR, so on and so forth, right? If you talk about, what I was telling you about, these are the few basic things that you want to involve in your daily activities of your, work life. However, when you talk about this in an on-premise or a traditional setup, where you build everything from scratch, and technology does play a role, but you are not integrated. Applications run in silos. You have different applications, you have different service providers, and what happens, you have different logins, you have different data storage points. What that leads to is wastage of time. If I need to build a report having my CRM data, having my enterprise resource manager data, and my sales data, I have to go to 3 different applications, download the data, collaborate them in an Excel maybe, and then send it across. It's a lot of wasted time. Cloud tells you about integrating all these things together so that you can actually have an optimized way. And shadow IT, I've talked about it enough, but I will not delve much on it. Workplace for tomorrow. This is where our first offering on the cloud comes in. Every day you go to office, that's your workplace. The objective of every employee going to office is to think and believe, how can I do my job better, faster, in a less amount of time, and with more quality, right? And that is where cloud and Microsoft and companies like Crayon come into the picture, where we want to build technology in a way that is usable to help achieve that goal. After Satya came in, our motto changed. Our motto is to help enable each and every person or organization on the planet to achieve more. We want to help that, right? And that is where our modern workplace transformation comes in. We have gone ahead and understood what it takes to transform. Culturally, what do people want? People want that I want my supported work style to work in my office, what I'm used to. And I want a digital workplace, that is my demand, right? Secondly, when I talk about an organization's perspective, I need collaboration, I need content, I need analytics, I need communication. And the basic underlying thing is I need teamwork. Without a team, there is nothing, right? And basis on that, we have taken the IT perspective. What it does is it encapsulates the technicalities of getting this thing done. That is whether it is an identity management, whether it is a self-service, whether it is anytime, anywhere, productive, proactive, so on and so forth. So how do we make that better? How do we secure and make our application or our data center or our experience modern, digital? That is by using our first and foremost offering on our SaaS platform, which is Microsoft 365. This actually encapsulates 3 different products. One is the Microsoft 365 Enterprise Suite, which is again a combination of a lot of products. The second is the basic OS that you give to your end customers, end users, which is our Windows 10 Enterprise. Obviously, it's enterprise class, it's highly secure, it's well optimized, it can connect to your data center, it can be monitored, it could be managed, so on and so forth. And the last and the most key thing is, people want to be working with the familiar tools, with the familiar experiences. That is where our enterprise mobility and security comes in. Everything has to be mobile first, everything has to be consumer first. Giving you some key value propositions or some perspective on how popular this tool is, how much it is utilized today. We have about 6.7 billion emails sent every day with our product, Microsoft Exchange. The second thing when you talk about after email, calendar, is how do you chat or you connect with your contemporaries, how do you share your content? About 60 petabytes of data is being stored on our SharePoint platform, which is our collaboration suite. If you move ahead, when you talk about communicating on an instant messaging kind of a scenario, whether it's a video chat, whether it's an SMS, whether it's a Skype call, what do? You spend about 6 billion minutes of calls every day across the globe. Yammer, I do not know if you guys have focused on the social aspect of your employees, the morale, the collectivity of thought sharing, ideas. How do you capture them? How do you motivate them? How do you control them? How do you drive them? Yammer is an excellent tool that we have. So about 70% of growth we've seen in the utilization of acceptance of Yammer. It is like an enterprise grade Facebook, where you can share your content, your PPTs, your ideas, your team best practices. You can collaborate with your team members in a more casual way, where people speak out more freely. It's important. You cannot confine people to the way they have been working in the past to achieve digital transformation. You have to change, right? Similarly, going ahead, we have Office Pro Plus, which is our on-premise Office Exchange, which is our Outlook, Excel, PPT, so on and so forth. So we have about 1.2 billion users who are doing a lot of more things now with our cloud offering, which is about co-authoring, storing on the cloud, interacting with your fellow colleagues, and doing it more efficiently. And lastly, we have something called, which we've released very recently, it's our Teams offering. It is a combination of Skype, SharePoint, Yammer, everything put together, which is our Teams thing. We've named it Teams because it is intended to working together as a team, where you can chat, share information, collaborate, store your data, manage access, so on and so forth. Teams is fantastic. I would really encourage you guys to adopt it, use it. I've been personally very, very, very happy with the changes that we have seen with Teams. Finally, going ahead, we have also got better practices in terms of Office 365 groups, Microsoft Graphs, security, compliance, so on and so forth. Before I move on, I like to play a small video to give myself a break and to give yourselves as well a small break.
घर से ऑफिस पहुंचने में 1 घंटा लग जाता है। थोड़ा मेट्रो चेंज करनी है, रिक्शा लेनी है, उसके बाद चांदनी चौक की गलियों में से निकलना है। वैसे तो ऑफिस में हर रोज़ एक स्पेशल डे होता है। आज मेरी प्रेजेंटेशन है, अभी लास्ट मिनट चेंजेस भी हैं उसमें, बट आई कैन मेक द चेंजेस ऑन द गो। हमारा ऑफिस ही देख लीजिए, एक हेरिटेज बिल्डिंग है। कभी एक बेगम का महल हुआ करता था, हम आज उसमें काम कर रहे हैं। फॉर द एम्प्लॉयज़, टेक्नोलॉजी हैज़ मेड द लाइफ स्मूदर, टेंशन फ्री। हम बहुत ईजिली आपस में कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं। मुझे कोई डॉक्यूमेंट खोलना है, मैंने वन ड्राइव में अपलोड करा हुआ है, आई कैन एक्सेस इट फ्रॉम एनीवेयर। इससे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कौन कहाँ पर है, हमारे पास टाइप है, कॉन्फ्रेंस कर सकते हैं, कोलैबोरेशन इम्प्रूव हो गई है। एक नई टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ जब हम काम करते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि हम आगे बढ़कर कुछ कर रहे हैं, एक फ्रेशनेस आती है। काम बैंकिंग में अभी भी वही है, काम करने का तरीका अलग हो गया है, उसी काम को मोर एंथूज के साथ कर रहा है। यू कैन ड्रीम फ्यूचर में क्या हो सकता है। There may be a point in future I can close my eyes, imagine myself in office and I'm in office.
Right. This video shows a lot of things. It shows a bank, a typical traditional Indian bank, not a private bank. It shows a lot of technology, a lot of other things. But the most critical thing that I personally take out of this video is the enthusiasm that this person who works at a bank feels. She's motivated. She's enjoying her work. She feels empowered. See, with this attitude, you can achieve more. This is what digital transformation is all about. If you can motivate your employees, you can build out more. Apart from that, the other things that we noticed was, yes, there is a lot of collaboration, teams work together, they have a good family life balance with technology and so on and so forth. You can work on the move, mobile application, and it's a bank. It has to be secure and is secure. So all those things are there, and that the world is adopting it, right? The second thing as a part of the Office 365 suite was the Windows 10 Enterprise. Again, I don't need to introduce Windows 10 to anybody. It's everybody's usage, right? And that's the most utilized OSs in offices across verticals across the globe, right? So it's only that there are, in the enterprise grade, you get more security, you get more trust, you have more password protections, identities, hello, so on and so forth, right? So I will not spend too much time there. This is something which is interesting. A lot of people I know are still evaluating. I would not say a lot of people, still a majority of the crowd is evaluating mobility and is worried about how do we approach that, how do we embrace it, how is that going to affect my security, my data, my people, right? But then having an answer to that is pretty straightforward. You have to manage your identities. Microsoft has actually understood that and build our solutions around it. For identities, we have Azure Active Directory Premium, right? Active Directory has been there in the market for ages now. We've put that onto the cloud, managed it, maintained it better so that it works with the hybrid requirements of the market today, whether it is hybrid devices, hybrid locations, hybrid data centers, so on and so forth. We have advanced threat analysis, which is something which is a dedicated process from our end. A lot of antiviruses, firewalls have these advanced threat protections that they give you at a premium cost. If you move on to our Azure services, we have a very basic cost that is given and a very advanced service that we provide against it. right? Which actually constantly monitors the threats that are there going in the world. We have our own red team within Microsoft, which is a team of ethical hackers who try to, unearth such cases. They try to attack our own systems, and we try to defend ourselves proactively, right? So that's about it on the data center side. We have Azure Information Production. We have Microsoft Intune. Now that is intended to managing your mobile appliances. When a person is on the mobile phone is lost. How do you get your data? What if somebody else gets access to that? Especially your enterprise data, your emails, your documents that is there on the laptop or the tablet. There's something called Intune. It has remote wipe. You can delete your information from anywhere, anytime you want. This information that is deleted is only your corporate information. Even if people are bringing their own phones to the office, you don't delete their personal data, right? And so on and so forth. So that's a very interesting proposition that we have brought into to enable people to be more confident going ahead with mobility. And finally, our SaaS application platform that we have, which is enabled with Microsoft Cloud App Security, end-to-end for all our products. It is consistent across all the clouds out there, whether it is Google, Salesforce. We can integrate with all of them and ensure that whatever communication is happening is secured. I'll play another video. Another short video about one of our success cases where such kind of transformation is.
With Microsoft 365 Business, I'm really excited to be able to manage my mobile devices and users without having to buy a server.
The security that small business get is the same as the security for a major enterprise level corporation.
Security in the past has been one of those things that is very expensive to do correctly, and this product has taken a lot of that guesswork out.
Anytime that we can introduce something to a client that's going to save them time and help them be more productive, it's an awesome feeling. They can concentrate on running their business while we take care of their technology needs.
And so to be able to deploy Windows on a new device in a relatively short period of time, by comparison, is something that customers are really excited about.
For Garner Foods, these allowed them to cut their implementation time for a PC in half.
Working with a partner like Solus has been great. They've taken good care of us to make sure that we're getting the right products that we need.
From a sales perspective, being able to bring all of those great solutions in under a single SKU that's really easy for us to transact, it's really easy for the customer to understand, is really phenomenal.
Us implementing this product gives the customers a peace of mind that they have a full solution.
For years now, we've been bundling pieces together to make a solution for our clients, and Microsoft now has a great packaged product that has all the features that small and medium businesses want in one package and one management portal.
Right. So what's the difference from the first video to this video, if I may ask, in terms of a perspective? This perspective is from the management. That was an employee perspective, how they feel empowered, how they feel motivated, how they improvise their days with technology. This is the management, the CIO, the manager, the business decision maker who is driving this change, right? What is their feeling? Did you notice? They're actually very happy. Now they have control. They feel happy to give that power to their employees. It gives them satisfaction. The second thing they said, that the ease that they have found in the technology is staggering. The way they can monitor their resources, their data, their applications, their users, that is the second thing that they feel is very, very good. The third thing that they said is, the customers want this, and giving it to customers is helping their own businesses. These are the three key takeaways in this. First of all, a shift in priority, a shift in geography. These are all global customers. They were from a food manufacturing company. They were from an IT background. They were from an aviation background, so on and so forth, right? And the same perspective says that, yes, technology embracing gives satisfaction to the management and the leadership team as well, right? And it definitely does improvise. This is something which is very close to Microsoft India, Microsoft Kaizala. This is something that was developed, conceptualized, and end-to-end it was developed in India, right? This is an independent chat application that has been developed by Microsoft. Now, I shouldn't use competition brand names, but yes, it's like an enterprise class WhatsApp, right? You can control the kind of people that are there in the groups. You can kind of control the kind of communication that is happening. You can have filters to restrict people from saying things. You can have moderated chats. You can have groups, you can have subgroups, so on and so forth. I have a couple of more videos which will explain the same. Let me just run you through them and then, I'll just go on, right?
Enabling a connected business. This was the core objective that led to the creation of Kaizala, a chat-based mobile productivity app from Microsoft. Imagine your business, everything about it, its people, its processes, and its potential to grow, everything connected through one app. Monitor real-time progress of your field delivery people, track their location using Kaizala's in-app feature, and make your delivery systems more efficient and more accountable. And Kaizala's ability to work on 2G means that even in the remote locations and even with the basic handsets, you are still connected. Reach millions at one go and across multiple groups. Govern in real time. Make the business more connected with the stakeholders. Raise job cards, assign tasks, and analyze data in real time using the Kaizala management portal. Take polls and gather opinions on things that matter. Give your employees a platform to voice their opinions. Or simply keep up with the daily action. With Kaizala, your business stays connected. And the business that stays connected stays profitable. Big or small, global or local, real world or virtual, no matter what your business. The promise of last mile connectivity will make a world of difference. Secured, connected, empowered. Kaizala.
Right. So another perspective this is a technology perspective. Now this is not from an individual, this is from a technology background, How does this empower people? Number one, it is agnostic or less dependent rather on the kind of infrastructure you need. Whether you have 4G, 3G or 2G, it works, right? You need data, it works. Secondly, it does not just restrict people to share chats, give updates and all. There is a polls functionality if you notice. There is an analytics on top of that. It can capture your movements, it can capture your feedback. It can have templates shared within to capture forms and information. So it's a very, very advanced communication. And how does that help you? It helps you stay connected, it reduces the response times, it helps you, be in control of your business basically. Right? Because the more you're in touch with your field sales, the more you're in touch with your people at back office, the more you perform better. You have better information to share, you have faster delivery to provide, and you have better tracking of your progress where your business is growing. Right? There's another couple of case studies, another bank which has been using Kaizala extensively to manage and extend value to their end customers and their internal employees. We have another use case which is very, very advanced. Now this is a B2C scenario. This was in the papers for a long while. I'm sure a lot of you might have gone through that. Chandrababu Naidu, the CM of Andhra Pradesh, took this initiative to launch a B2C feedback mechanism for everything that was happening in Andhra Pradesh. If you feel there is some dustbin which has not been cleared in your area, you can take a photograph, post it on the CM app on Kaizala. Somebody would come and take an action on top of that. There was a proper tracking mechanism. A ticket was generated every time a request was made. So the kind of extent of technology is like reaching everybody, and we feel as a person living in a society who is seeing this dust around or dirt around, I feel empowered. I can bring about change with technology. A very different perspective again, right? So technology is touching every walk of our lives, right? Another example, Andhra Pradesh itself. This is a very different example now. This is a community event or a sort of a community gathering happens in Krishna Pushpakaram. It's one of the biggest festivals that happens over there, and millions of people come over. There were 10,000 volunteers who come over. How do you manage, track, and ensure that the proceeding happens in the right way? This was the creative solution again brought about by the government, where they said that we'll have groups to manage communication, we'll have people, we'll have smaller people teams to access localities, to have small responsibilities shared in group of peoples and make them accountable. In case there is something going wrong, we can take corrective actions. And this is the extent of technology. Now you'll see another thing. It is 2016. This is not done yesterday. This was done 3 years ago. So the kind of extent of technology that is being used and adopted is really fast. As CIOs, we are actually lacking, if at all, in bringing this about in our organization. We need to figure out how this will fit in, right? And that is where Microsoft and Crayon can help. That is pretty much about the software as a service offering. I'll quickly move on to something which is more closer to me as an individual, Azure, which is our platform and infrastructure as a service. I personally specialize in this, so any questions after this long session would be more welcome. I would be happy to share. Anyways, so Azure is our data center offering. You guys must have been aware of creating on-premise data centers, colo data centers, third-party hosting, and then cloud, of course. So this is our cloud, our public cloud offering, which is highly customizable, one of the largest footprints across the globe. This says 52. I believe there are 54 data centers live today. 3 more are on the way in the Middle East. So we are bringing up data centers, as soon as like every quarter, there are like 4 or 5 data centers being released. If you might have read in the papers, we are bringing out underwater data center in the middle of the ocean to optimize our cooling cost, to improve green efficiency, to improve the connectivity underwater, so on and so forth. So Azure, if I talk about in detail, it does everything for you. You can do practically everything there. But to highlight a few areas, I'll just talk about compute, which is the core of any computing that you do, whether you run an application, whether you run an ERP, whether you have a chat application deployed, whether you have a CRM deployed, it needs servers. The servers constitute your compute. We have various kinds of computes available. It's starting from a basic VM, which is our infrastructure offering, to something advanced like our platform services, like cloud services, app services, mobile services, web services, different kinds of computes. We've also ventured into container services. We have taken the best of the breed in terms of Kubernetes and the Docker systems that are there. We run them on the cloud. We are very, very proactive in creating our own containers. We have an Azure container service that we have and host ourselves. That's on the compute. We have a huge array of storage and networking options, whether it is VPNs, point-to-point, site-to-site, point-to-site, express routes, which is our leased line connectivity, so on and so forth. We have array of storage disks available, whether you have SSD, HDD, or NVMe, everything's available with us. We have a lot of security and management tools. We talked about Active Directory. We have Active Directory as a service. You talk about storage. You talk of a security center. You talk about certifications. We have got it all, right? And I don't think there's any time available that will help me complete this whole deck. But we have a very good story in terms of our data services as well. You talk about high performance computing, cognitive, AI, machine learning. We have a host of services ready-made to plug and play. At the beginning of the slide, I said we need to understand what is plug and play. So let me delve a little bit more on the concept here. If you want to deploy an application, I'll assume you have a custom-made application built on .NET and SQL Server, just for an example. Let's make it more interesting. You have a Java and a MySQL application. Does not sound very familiar with Microsoft, right? But then yes, we do host Linux OSs. We have a MySQL managed service available, where you can just plug and play and migrate your data. How do you migrate your data? What is plug and play? You have a server running on-premise with your MySQL. You have a server running, let's say, Red Hat Enterprise and a Java application. How do you migrate that? Plug and play, what do you mean? So there's a tool that is available, which is Azure Data Migration Services. You download an agent, put it onto the server, create a server on Azure. That is also click of 3 buttons. The server is ready, you configure the IP, and you click play. It automatically analyzes the environment on the on-premises server that you're running, copies the data from here to the new server. All you need to do is map your DNS to the new server, and you're good to go. A similar thing happens with your application with ASR. A similar thing happens with your database with your Azure Database Management Services. And actually, it's plug and play. It's that simple, the way I told you. If you want more details, we can connect afterwards. But yes, I would be more than happy to share more details on this. Certifications. Now, this is very critical to a lot of CIOs and CSOs who are like security officers. How can we trust the cloud? Now, we're past that stage typically, but still, somewhere at the back of the mind, that question comes in. Is it really secure? How much, do I need to worry about it? I would say very little. You need to manage security in your applications, definitely. How you open your application ports, how you connect to the database, how you integrate with your various other offerings across the globe, yes, you need to do that. But from a data center and a management perspective, you can be rest assured. Second thing that people talk about is compliance. I will not give you random examples that, CM of Andhra Pradesh is hosting it on us, so it's secure. Yes Bank is with us, or SBI is with us, so it is secure. No. It is secure because a lot of independent agencies have gone ahead, done their extensive audits, and given us certifications that yes, we are secure. Beyond that, as I said, we do our own penetration and security analysis testing. We do advanced threat protection on our data centers, which no other data center ideally does, the way we do it. I'm not saying that all people are born different, but yes, all clouds are born different. We have been born in a different breed, in a different way, and we are different. So these are geographically segregated. Every country has their own standards. We are compliant with almost all of them. Every industry has their own compliance, whether it is a financial or a health or a securities and whatever. And global organizations definitely have global policies to look into who do businesses in different countries. We are compliant with them as well. These are a few solutions that people are talking about today in digital transformation again. So we are talking a lot about Internet of Things. We are talking about analytics. We are talking about customer-facing apps, big data warehousing. All these things are ready-made use cases on Azure. If you guys have any such criteria, feel free to reach out to me or connect with me. I would be happy to share how we can achieve all of these things in a plug-and-play, ready-to-use environment. All you need to do is manage your application and your data. The rest, everything is taken care of, right? And after this long presentation, I'll say goodbye. Thank you. I hope it was helpful. Thank you.